This talk today envisions what kind of positive global change can an alliance with fungi? Both are right. Both are right. Fantastic. And bring to our human culture. So without further ado, Oliver.
Hello everybody, thank you for being here. Yeah, the talk is about what can you do, but also is how can you do it. So I want to focus on the how part also. Yeah, mycoremediation is something that has been going on for a while now, and there is a lot of potential in there. You know, you can clean up polluted water, you can clean up oil spills, take radioactivity out from environment and concentrate in one place, clean soil, and even biodegrade plastic. It's amazing what's been happening in the last 10 years in that. And so we found with the Fungi Academy our way to mycoremediation and all the stuff thanks to psychedelic mushrooms actually. So in my own personal life, this kind of thing wouldn't have existed. There was some kind of inspiration that came from that point that I had to change myself to do what's good for everyone, not only for myself. And maybe you can relate to that. I feel like this has been happening with a lot of people, and yeah, that's what I'm curious about. How does this happen to people, and how does it affect people personally, but also how does it affect our culture and our society on a larger scale? So yeah, so there's few ways we can go about it. Like one is we should have something available for having a psychedelic experience, and other one is we should have available the right information, how to go about it, how to integrate these experiences, how to reduce harm, and this education about it is really important. And the other speakers who are here today, they are really very much doing this very important work, and yeah, so our side of it is taking what they know, but also adding this side, how do you do the mushrooms, where do you get them from? Because mushrooms are the most accessible psychedelic medicine, and so how do you get it, where do you get it, what's going on? We teach to grow mushrooms. Here in California, we cannot teach you how to grow psychedelic mushrooms, but we can teach you all these other mushrooms, and once you know the basics of it, wherever it is legal, you can do your own thing there. There is also resources available. It's kind of ironic that we are here doing this event. Actually, California is one of the states that is most illegal to even have spores, for instance. Like these are the seeds of mushrooms. If you would be somewhere else, not here, there is many places that you can have it for your own microscopic investigations. And there are, from internet you can have places like Free Sporing Earth, FSRA, so Free Sporing Earth, FSRE.nl. It's in Netherlands. Amazing organization. There are also another option of doing it. If you don't want to grow them, you can find it from the nature. They are readily available everywhere. I've heard people saying that they are even available in Golden Gate Park when the season is right. That wasn't like that all the time. There has been some radical mycologist, putting it here and there. So, but at the same time, that if you don't know what it looks like, it can be dangerous. Some mushrooms are poisonous, and while there is a lot more mycophobia out there than actually the real dangerous mushrooms, it is still good to know what you're doing. So one of the ways to go about it is get somebody who knows, identify it, and the best way to do that would be internet again. You can go to the website called mushroomobserver.org, and if you have questions, you can find me afterwards and ask about these websites. And in this website there is a huge community, thousands of people who like mushrooms, and whatever you put in there, whatever kind of mushroom, psychedelic or not, people will help you get to the bottom of this. What is this species?
So yeah, the shroomery.org is a really good.
Shroomery is a wonderful place to specifically learn about how to grow your mushrooms, and in the Fungi Academy there's 3 main members, and all of our journeys began somehow in the shroomery actually, and that came from psychedelic mushrooms, and from there went to all of these other things, the food, the medicine, not more than just the psychedelic medicine, and the mycoremediation. So the part of it with the mushrooms is, since they're so accessible, there are ways of maybe having experiences that can change our values, I would say, so we're looking at how to do it in a safe and responsible way. How can you find this side of yourself that isn't only always thinking about your own self, and how can you do it so that there is environmentalism and all kinds of rights movements and things like that, where do they go? And a lot of these actually have their roots in people who have psychedelic experiences in the right way. Wait, I have notes actually. Let me get these notes. I planned to have them out, but now I remember. Wait a second, I made notes. So here we go, I have notes. Okay, so the education about growing your own safe medicine where it's legal. So this is what we've been focusing on with the Fungi Academy, to teach people to grow mushrooms, but not only psychedelics, all kinds of mushrooms. But so here you guys are possibly interested in psychedelic ones. So yeah, the idea is that we go around and let people know who are interested how to do that. We're doing it here also. If you're interested, we can let you know how to grow mushrooms, general, not psychedelic ones, but there is very analogous ones. Like for instance, if you're interested in cubensis mushrooms, then the very analogous one is garden giant, which is actually an amazing mushroom. It grows this huge mushroom, you can eat it, and it's good for your health, and so there are many benefits of learning it, even if you're not interested in psychedelic ones. And then there are other mushrooms which, for instance, you would find in the Golden Gate Park and basically anywhere where there is landscaping projects that have this wood chip mulch. So you gotta find this wood chip mulch wherever there is a time of rain, a rainy season, and but again we cannot teach about this, so we're teaching about other wood-loving mushrooms, for instance like oyster mushrooms, which is super easy to grow and it's super invasive, and you just once you know how to do the garden giant and oyster, you basically know how to do the psychedelic mushrooms also. Yeah. So and right now we are working on a bus project. So we have been doing this in Guatemala for a while, and amazingly actually, like while United States it's mostly illegal to grow and do all kinds of stuff with it, there's many countries around the world where it's in different ways legal, and like for instance like Brazil is a country that's completely do what you want. Like, everything is possible with magic mushrooms, and so we teach people who are interested, and we've been doing that for a while now. We've been doing it since the beginning of the year, and it's been very welcome. There's been hundreds of people through it. People have learned how to grow the mushrooms, and also it's been like an experience of how to live together in a community environment. So there's these two aspects, and they both kind of help to, like kind of like Larry was speaking, that to have the community around and to have the integration stuff happening. So there is these two aspects happening at the same time. and we've been there in the Lake Atitlan for a while, and it's a nice place. It's beautiful. A lot of travelers come there, and you know, who can afford to travel and basically come. And we do have had the workshops to teach the local people how to grow oyster mushrooms. But right now we feel that we should kind of spread out, like mycelium, go to different places, and that's why we're making a Mobile Fungi Academy. It's basically like a school bus where there is mushroom growing equipment inside, a library, people who know about this, and we're going from here, from California to South America with this. It's going to be a long project. It's going to take at least 2 years, but we're on it. It's happening already. Like as we speak, we have laboratory equipment already, bus we're already looking, so it's already happening. And we were going to start. We're going to start off from here on around November, beginning of November. So if you guys are interested, you can check us out. We are Fungi Academy, fungiacademy.com, or just look us up in Indiegogo. We have also a crowdfunding going on. So I kind of have to tie down.
You have about 4 minutes.
I have about 4 minutes, so like if you guys have any questions, I'm more than welcome to answer those.
Oh my God.
Yes, Olga.
Thank you, Oliver. I've heard about the mycological remediation of radioactive sites, and Chernobyl has come up as an example. Can you speak on that at all?
Yeah. So what happens with radioactive compounds? The mushrooms, most mushrooms, they hyperaccumulate them in the body. They cannot get rid of them. This isn't really like a solution of you break them apart. The solution is that you have them in one place. So mushrooms take it away from their ambient environment, and it's in one place then. And afterwards, you can take these mushrooms and in a controlled environment, burn them and encapsulate them in plexiglass or glass or something like that, and then you have it in very small place and away from the environment.
This can be a major solution to radioactive fallout, yeah?
Well, yes, but it's a solution that takes like 100 years.
Yeah, but I mean...
But we gotta start now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What types of legal mushrooms are most similar growth-wise to the Hawaiian cyanescens mushrooms?
So the Hawaiian cyanescens mushroom is a wood-loving mushroom. So it likes to eat cellulose and stuff like that. So it grows on wood. Not any kind of wood. There is maybe like more like sappy wood, like pines and things that it doesn't grow on. But a similar mushroom, like I said, it would be oyster mushroom. But there are other types of wood-loving mushrooms like chicken of the woods, maitake, and reishi. There are others that are more difficult. But if you start growing mushrooms, I really recommend starting with oyster mushrooms. They are so easy, and once you know that, the cyanescence, you know that also. And there is actually in Netherlands, there's organization, like underground organization, that is making cyanescence and azurensis patches around Netherlands and everywhere, so people can and they map them in Google Maps. So if you go there ever in Netherlands, check out the map. It's called the Azurensis Society.
What's the name?
Azurensis Society. Azurensis.
Hi. How much space do you need to grow mushrooms?
Very little.
Very little. And can you do indoors?
You can do it indoors, you can do it outdoors, whichever you like. So the benefits of having indoors is because you can do it in a very small time scale, and it doesn't matter what the natural cycles are, if there is rain or not. And you can do it basically in one of those plastic boxes where you get your stuff in, and this is enough space to do it. And especially if you're doing it for yourself. And the outdoors benefit is it needs very little maintenance, and you just kind of do it, and if you make a comfortable environment for your mushroom friends, they will keep growing in that place for years and years and years.
And your Fungi Academy teaches?
Yes.
How to do it?
Yes, we are actually planning a workshop in October, so if you guys are interested, come hit me up or come talk with Silvan. Silvan there is also brother from Fungi Academy.
Any other questions?
another question here.
Let's try and shout it out, because maybe that'll work better.
What kind of substrate would you guys recommend for like bulk? If you were to do bulk? Because I know like PF Tech you probably recommend for beginners, right? But if you were to like try to move to bulk, doing something bulk, like what would you kind of recommend? Like,
Well, I guess would be a good question if you come to our workshop, but I mean, like, it really depends on what kind of mushroom strain you're growing, and they have the different needs of bulk. Like the very most common psychedelic mushrooms grown is cubensis, and this one you would use any kind of grain. Any kind of grain is amazing for bulking up, whichever you can find, which is cheapest, which you can get best access to it.
okay.
Yeah. And that's it. We're out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.